You're listening to I'm Telling You. You're listening to I'm Telling You. Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of I'm Telling You.
I'm telling you, bloke. I'm telling you.
That's horrible. Never do that again.
I might.
As always, your amazing host, Philly D.
Mrs. Gemini.
Clickety clack effect check of Miss JD.
And if you'd like to reach out to us, continue the conversation, tell us how awesome we are, how horrible his accents are. You can reach all three of us at ity.directionsmusic.org or individually.
GEMINI at directionsandmusic.org.
Danger Will Robinson. Yeah, on Philly D, PHI, at directionsmusic.org. Yeah, you can hit us up individually or all three. For first-time listeners, this is a 30-year friendship of you and me just doing what we do, just talking, chatting, getting deep, getting comical.
Getting stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but, you know, our conversations are never based in something where it's like, this is my point and I have to prove it. It's always been a very open-ended, continuous, it's hard to explain because it's the same conversation that's just been continuously running for like 30 years. But we get comical and add like dad jokes, movie quotes. Sometimes it's dad quotes and movie jokes.
Sometimes it's nothing but.
Dude, there's been a few times. There has been a few times.
And then right in the last 5 minutes, we'll start getting into something deep and the show's over.
Yeah, right. We're like existentialism with near-death experiences. Oh, we got to go, though. Sorry about that.
And catch us next time.
Yeah, right. Well, we're probably not going to talk about this because we will have forgotten already. Yeah, basically. But, you know, and sometimes we bring on guests and whatever else, and we love supporting our community, and, you know, we're all about education and peace, love, harmony, and all that tree-hugging hippie shit.
Yeah, I'm all about bringing on more guests. Definitely more guests.
You're going to be like, I'm all about that tree hugging hippie shit, bro. I feel you. I'll be like, I mean, you know, I like walking in the woods with, you know, no shoes and being truly grounded. And it's a beautiful thing. You know, I mean, you literally ground yourself when you take your shoes off and just walk in the dirt.
I've heard that.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's like, to me, it's instantly relaxing. Like, you know, it's just like freaking Die Hard where he's like, when you get off the plane, take off your shoes first place you go and just curl your toes in the carpet. I know it sounds strange, but it works. Dude, it really does.
It really does.
But you know.
It's better if it's...
we're talking about like actual dirt, not like shag carpeting right now.
Better if it's grass or actual just dirt.
Pretty much, man. You want to get raw,
like soil.
Pretty much. Into the earth as you can get.
Something you would grow in.
That's what I'm saying. You know? Yes.
Like, you know, well-cultivated, soft, loamy earth.
I'm
just
so
stick
loamy.
Stick your feet in that and just let it squish in between your toes.
I'll just let it settle for a little bit. Right.
That is nice.
It is, man.
It's grounding.
Yeah, I enjoy that coupled with being near running water. It just, there's a component to it. You know, you get the like the negative ions, they say, as the water is flowing, you know, kind of discharging in a sense.
There's definitely more to it than that too. I mean, it's a completely, you know, it's all your senses. It's all encompassing. I think the effect that it has on you. But like,
you mean flowing water?
Yeah, even something is just isolating the sound of running water.
You know, I mean, I can agree to that. You know, especially if you want somebody to pee, that helps. So I've been told.
Oh, my daughter listens to that all the time. She listens to are
we talking like Babbling Brook or like?
Yeah, it's babbling. Okay. It's Babbling Brook. Actually, that's exactly what it is.
But hey, you know what I'm saying?
But it's nice, but it's weird. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to go to the bathroom, like it's loud. You can hear it all the way down the hallway.
Dude, that's crazy.
See, it's soothing, but it's too, I don't know. It's so constant. It's weird. It's so fast moving and constant sounding. Like that it's just,
Yeah, it would make me want to pee a lot.
Maybe exactly. It's okay when I have to wake up and pee, but
I really had to pay. Yeah, I mean, I like a fan on. I like to hear air moving at minimum, if not at least like I want to feel it. You know,
a
that's
white
like
noise.
I like hearing air move.
Why's it gotta be white?
Well, because I mean, same thing with like I have fish tanks and aquaponics and stuff like that.
It's just the sound of the ooh, you know, the steady. Not those terrible fans. Sorry.
I mean, it's not even that. It's because again, I like to feel the flow of the air, as well as you know the water doing its thing, and like it's I like the churning but you know I don't need it to be like it sounded like running down the hallway. I don't need that, but just this slight little in the background. It reminds me of being of Earth. You have wind, you have water.
I feel like I play that in the background and put your hand in a bowl of water while you're sleeping, and you'll probably hear yourself.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Just saying, I could probably make you pee yourself in your sleep.
I mean, dude, you know what? I think
does it have to be warm water?
I don't know. They say I think that's what they say to make it quicker. I don't know. See, while I get great rest,
can I use the bathroom? Wait,
I'm very like lately. I'm very lucid in my dreaming.
Yeah.
Like when I'm there and I'm aware of it, I know I'm definitely aware of it.
Do you dream a lot?
I don't. Growing up, I never really remembered my dreams other than just a few because they were continuous. Like they were just repetitive. I had that relative same dream at least 3 or 4 times or 6 or 7 or.
I always had that dream of like being chased by a quote unquote bad guy.
Dude, I don't
know, or the recurring dream of falling backwards downstairs. I don't know why.
You have no balance is probably why. So even your subconscious is like, you can't do this.
That's one of those things, and I've actually read up on this, and it's kind of interesting what some people say about it. But you ever have that moment when you're about to fall asleep, but then you'll have a weird vision like that makes you kind of shudder?
I don't know. Usually it's my leg just twitches.
And then it'll feel like you just kind of fell for 6 inches. And then it just jerks yourself. You just jerk awake. And I've heard that's actually when you reach a moment during, it's like an alpha state during is it pre-REM sleep or something like that, where your body is actually, your spirit is floating above your body, and that falling sensation you feel is your spirit falling back to your body, and then you wake up like you just hit the ground.
I think I've heard that before. I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
Because I've heard that every time you have that weird experience, because I'll have that pretty common, maybe a couple times a week, where I'm about to fall asleep, and I have the sensation that I'm falling backwards, whether it's downstairs or just wherever I'm standing, in a vision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have you ever had that? And then I'll almost feel the sensation of hitting the ground, not fully, and then I'll just wake up, and it feels like you fell a short distance, and then you kind of jerk yourself awake. Usually lift your head off the pillow a couple inches or whatever. You ever had that?
No, not specifically. No.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm floating, man.
Well, I'm seeing that's where I was going with what I was saying is the few dreams that I do remember were definitely from when I was younger, and a couple in between teenage and then more recently in the past 10 or 15 years. And from 1 or 2 as a kid, not during my teenage, but then again, in my 20s, the 30s, I got to a place of really lucid dreaming where I'm there, I'm aware, and I can control, and it's Neo in the Matrix shit.
Right.
I mean, as a kid, I definitely could fly and loved flying. It was one of the dopest things in the world. The more recent...
When I remember flying in a dream, it was because I was being chased by a bunch of goons. A bunch of guys that wanted to do harm to me or whatever. It was that kind of a dream that I would have as a kid, but
and I've had
that was a funny one though, because it wasn't just flight. Like I was running and running, and the motion of my legs going around in a circle put me on an invisible bike. Like that I felt beneath it was an invisible bike, and the faster I pedaled, the more it just started taking off into the air.
some ET shit.
Until eventually it just disappeared out from under me and I was flying.
So,
And it was like the coolest dream ever. And I remember that weird sensation, and I've always questioned this, like where you're flying over, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like in your flying dream, you're flying over like a neighborhood, and like you're just over the treetops, and it's like just that weird, like the view like from Explorers.
I was doing from like Explorers, the way they were,
that really close, where you're flying right over the ground, and just I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever had that?
Yeah. So, the first dream that I recall where I was in control of what I was doing, I was at the school that I went to, my original elementary school, and there was a property on the backside of us that was literally below us on elevation. So we had like a 6-foot fence or something, and if you hop that 6-foot fence, you had like a 20-foot drop. Like it was just like, boom, whoa. And in my dream, I hopped the fence for some reason. I forget, I'm like running around playing, like we're playing hide and seek or like I'm being a kid.
And there's nothing beneath you for 20 feet.
And I'm like, peace, and I'm out, and I go to hop the fence thinking, I'm going to be slick, and just like, oh. And as I hop the fence, it's just like, oh, and it's just like, no. And I very much Peter Panned it, where I was just about to hit the ground, and all of a sudden it's just
you
like,
you can fly.
Yeah, dude. No, that's exactly what it was.
Did you think a happy thought?
No, it was this thing where I was just like, screw this, I'm out of here kind of a thing, where my body took over. It was just like, bro, you know what you're doing. And very much had that view of me just barely scraping the ground, flying up and over, and then like you were just saying, go over the neighborhoods, and here I was, I could
like you're just above the tree level.
I was like flying over that company, and then over the playground at my school, and then like cruising up the street.
That's what I'm saying. Did it feel like you were actually there?
Oh God, yeah. That's why I loved that. So that was the first time
like,
I remember.
Were you? Like that's the question. Were you?
So the dreams that I have now that I remember from my 20s and 30s, where I have control. So I'm, like 8 years old, and I can have this flying dream, because again, the first one I had, that's when it was just like, oh crap. And it realized for, oh God, I want to say weeks, if not months, I would have me in a dream state capable of flying. Like as soon as I was aware of it, all of a sudden it's just like Neo in the Matrix, where I'm just like, I can fly in Superman style, like, and I'm gone. So I very much had this view of almost not like power, but ability, where it's just this thing where I can exist in this world where everybody else sees it as this. And it's just like, nah, we good. And, I can fly off.
Like it really stuck with you. Like, did you spend this part of your life like really excited to go to bed at night?
Pretty much. Yeah, because it's like, oh my God, I'm going to fly tonight.
Because I remember that was the time I told you, like when I was really young, it had to be 4 or 5 years old, I'm guessing. The time that I know I've told you about, where
when you were like 3-ish and staring at the wall.
Yeah, I would stare at the wall. It was
the checkered
4,
pattern or whatever.
It had to be over 3. I mean, because I was in a bed.
Yes, like 3.5. I think you were saying like 3.5.
Yeah.
As far as you can remember, you were like 3.5 to 4. But yeah.
Like I was in a full size person, like a twin, but I was in a full size person bed.
You were in a big boy bed. Yay!
Yeah, and that was the thing where I saw like the translucent, like one-tone translucent crystalline spaceships.
Yeah.
Like they were all different colors, but not all in one. Like they were one color each.
Yeah.
Kind of
like
thing as
almost
they were
like
flying
a
by.
massive strand of Christmas lights without being actually connected with a strand.
But if you think of like the colors being like naturally occurring stone colors.
Like lapis and opal and
Yeah, like your birthstones or whatever, something like that.
right, but opaque in the fact that they're not solid in.
I could see through them. I could see people walking on the surface inside. It was crazy.
That is dope.
Like the amount of detail that I had in that dream was just like unreal.
When you said you could remember reading writing, like there was writing, you couldn't read it, but you could tell it was writing of some sort.
I couldn't read it. It was I don't know if it was just my mind piecing stuff together, making its own. Like I have no idea to this day what that was, but it was just it was just to see like like it was like this old school like military looking font, and it would just
but like ticker tape style where you just kept feeding and feeding.
Yeah, like almost like, like I said, the backdrop was like this huge battleship that took up like 3/4 of like my entire vision on that screen that I was telling you.
All right, that section of your wall that you
section of my wall.
It turned into like a mini movie screen.
And
a three-dimensional portion.
While that thing was filling this screen, we'll call it, there was
this like, viewing area.
Like I don't know, like 1980s computer graphic alphabet style. You know what I mean? Like that font. That early.
Yeah, right. Blocky, like almost typewriter-ish.
Like robotic.
Yeah. Very, rigid, structured.
Yeah. Font of just this, like it was typing out like a description of the vessel that you were seeing and all the people that were on it and what the date was. But like none of the stuff was important to me. So it wasn't like I was reading it. So to say that it was in like some alien language, I don't really know. It was just incomprehensible at the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like the important thing was kind of like the whole, like I was seeing like the whole backdrop and the whole experience. Cause like I said, it wasn't just that. It was soon after that started. That's when I started seeing the crystalline starships. Like, so that thing kind of was the beginning of it. Where I would phase out. Remember I said I would look at the checker pattern. There was like that section of wall had this red and white checker pattern wallpaper. And I would look at it until it would, in my mind, it would flip-flop, and then it would look like it was flip-flopping, like I was, active imagination. I was a little kid.
You're right.
Were you on drugs? Yeah, like naturally occurring DMT. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about that, man.
It was like I tapped into something. I don't even know what it was. But
well, especially
to this day, I wonder what that is.
Well, because, I mean, when we're in our first 7 years, they say we're, in theta state or whatever, so you're highly susceptible and open, but programmable, and...
Well, yeah, that was
to say you wouldn't have that ability to perceive because you're just an open sponge, and it just makes sense.
That was the question, and I think I put that to you before about being in certain states of mind, whether it's something that's like changes the way that you think metabolically,
right,
or having an experience like a psychedelic experience that gives you some kind of a union feeling.
Okay.
And how that can change the whole course of your life for the positive. Like the whole concept that having that whole experience.
Like people saying doing ayahuasca trips and coming back all, they're like, I'm healed. All that good shit.
It's not even like that. Like a lot of them will say the same thing, probably more like, I've got a lot more work to do, and that's definitely not the last ayahuasca I'll do, but I have a lot to work on. Like it kind of, it grounds you in this weird way. Like I really think that that maybe this, this whole myth about, that kind of stuff makes you insane, or does it make you see things maybe for a moment the way that maybe they really are on a different dimension, like kind of the gears of how this world actually operates. Because that's what it sounds like when you hear about people like on DMT trips and stuff like that. Like they're having not only kind of a unified feeling within their spiritual experience at that moment, but in seeing this amazing geometry that some would say is almost like godlike, like otherworldly, unexplainable, uncomparable to anything else you've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like super uber 3-dimensional geometric.
Well, having more than just that and seeing the radiance or the energy, so geometric, but also
because think about
the radiant shape or aura of it geometrically.
Think about having the experience of being inside, like a Pythagorean solid, like one of those 3-dimensional objects. That was one of the first pieces of interest when it came to science. Like, it was expressed, I think, at the time that each one of those represents a certain element as well. Whether it's the square, the sphere, the pyramid, cylinder, like they all represent different elements.
Right.
I know the pyramid was fire.
Yeah, I remember I think going
square
through
was
and,
earth.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that a few times. And I think we've talked about that where, cause, I mean, it's like,
imagine being inside that, but it's not just that. It's like that repeated upon itself a million times. Like, what's that called? Chaos was talking about it a lot in his book. I forget the guy's name. Like a fractal pattern where it's repeated over and over.
Oh yeah, like Fibonacci sequence kind of stuff where it's just continuous, but we're talking geometric on it, and which I think those are kind of interrelated in that sense.
Like if you were to look into the smallest part of one shape, you just see that shape repeated, and when you zoom into that, you just see that same shape repeated.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a term for that, and I forget what it is.
Well, it's a fractal pattern, but I don't know.
Right, yeah.
It's fascinating when computers and computer graphics were just starting to get off the ground back in the day. That was one of the first things that scientists would like to play with, is they'd write a quick program that would recreate a fractal upon itself however many times, and it was like, you could change little factors like color and frequency and all this different, to create a different outcome, but it was the same thing. You were seeing this image repeated within itself, and like what it would do, like just because of its natural shape, what it would do if you just let it continue ad infinitum.
Yeah.
And these were one of like the crazy like sciencey math questions they were trying to figure out that they could never do in person without like a computer being able to recreate the same mathematical sequence over and over and over.
Okay.
I never finished the book. It was so
we're running on half knowledge here.
No. It's
73% knowledge.
It's a great book though, because it's all about scientists trying to find. It's hard to explain. Well, the whole thing about chaos. It was the whole book is called Chaos, and it's no, I'm serious. Like when you look at. All right.
No, I'm listening. I'm swearing. No, we're good. We're good. She looked at me funny.
Like you can't have order without having chaos, and then there was this whole thing about chaos kind of having a pattern within itself, so to speak.
Of course.
So that chaos itself is still a pattern.
Yeah, it's a random systematic component, I would say.
But it's required to maintain balance.
Of course.
You need chaos to have order.
Well, that's what Neo is in the Matrix. He's the anomaly. He's that, 0.00001% that is, that's what breaks the guy. He's like, I don't understand why this keeps happening. And it's like,
because it has to exist.
It has to exist. And he can't,
if
as
it wasn't
intelligent
him, it would
as he
still be
is.
him. That's the whole point to it. If it wasn't him, it would be someone else, but it would still be him.
Basically.
And that was what you didn't get. It's
it took him.
What I represent is the human spirit.
Yeah, and
that's why he was Neo.
Pretty much. Which, yeah, I mean, it took them like 30, 40, like it's like version upon version upon version.
And that's the way I saw it. And that's why I thought that movie series, especially the first one, was so moving and captivating. There was something very, speaking of Neo, there was something very new and fresh about it. But still kind of maintaining a core of like what would hold an audience interest, which is like this whole concept. And I'm sure anybody who's lived this crazy life has considered once or twice, is this all just like a play? Is this all just like, can I cut the screen and there's something behind there? Like, you know, and I think there was, when they wrote that script and when they put that movie together, it was like they were tapping into a piece of that within the human condition that just believes there's got to be something different than just this. You know what I mean? That was something about that movie that really, aside from the amazing advances they did with
cinematically, yeah.
They did some stuff that was much repeated within the following years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, which I always loved. I thought that was an homage every time I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, because you and I have definitely had that conversation where I very much enjoy movies on that kind of a level, and I feel that the Matrix is one of those ones where it was one of the last few newest. Holy crap! I can't believe they just thought of this with the equipment, like, you know, the rig and the setup.
But then again, so familiar. Like there was a level of nuance to it, but at the same time, it wasn't really a new story. It was just a new way to tell an old story. You know,
because at the core of what it says, like you're saying, you gotta break through, you know, almost whether you're tearing astral plane or parallel dimension, opening portal, accepting the fact that you can be this way or that. I mean, you can take it personally, emotionally. You can look at it on a timeline aspect, you know, string theory, parallel. You know, I mean, all that kind of stuff. It really does kind of encompass all of those things together.
Oh, encompassing.
Pretty much. I mean, because you also get the dichotomy of man within yourself, but also within your environment. And it's very much about balance. No matter what you think is good or bad or right or wrong, you still have to have balance, and all things have to exist for all things to exist.
Think about it. Even within the AI, there were...
Oh, yeah. There had to be balance.
Ghosts in the machine, if you will.
Oh, no, that's true. Yeah, and werewolves, as they would call it, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know,
they're
like...
Merovingian.
Yeah, rogue programs and stuff. Where they just, you know, they do what they want.
Not only that, but rogue programs that would write other rogue programs.
Yeah.
Into existence. It was very... kind of had a Tron feeling to it at that point when you start looking at it like that. Like that was something about the second part of that series that really opened up to all the possibilities of what's actually going on. And then they totally threw you under the bus and said, no, none of that was real because, you know, even though you think you've escaped, you're still kind of attached to the machine. Like it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, interdependence.
Yeah.
You know, we need to have that balance. Like to sustain certain outputs or abilities, personally, culturally, societally, you have to have balance. You have to have rights and wrongs and goods and bads, which aren't clearly defined as right or wrong or good or bad, just different. And that from that difference, you can see what you would define as good or bad or right or wrong. You know, things that are aligned with you or make you happy or, you know, whatever that expression is. And, you know, within that balance, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that I really pick up on from people that are doing well personally, emotionally, you know, on any level financially. They talk very much about balance. And I think that's really what this world kind of comes down to, is finding your balance within the balance of all things, which is important to just kind of, you know, get out of your own way, is what we always say, right? You just got to be in the flow and accept things, and I don't know.
And communicate.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an important component to do.
I need work on my communication skills. I don't always communicate well.
And I mean, you know what? And just because you're speaking, it doesn't mean that you're communicating well. Just because you're doing actions doesn't mean you're communicating your actions well. But I mean, I'm a big believer. As long as you're doing it and willing to keep trying, and to me, that means more than the actual outcome. Because if I know like shit goes down, I got you, bro. You know.
Word.
So, yeah.
But yeah, communication.
But yeah, all right. So back to this, the dream question from like 20 minutes ago.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm like 8 or 9. I'm now having more lucid or controllable dreams where I'm aware and I can do all these things. In my teenage years, I started having a series of dreams which still continue to this day. The
lady in the red dress?
No.
Oh, sorry.
The environment or scene changes, but the scenario of what's going on is always the same relative idea.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm not always so much being chased or sought after, but then there's also the ability where sometimes I'm by myself and I'm more or less just like sneaking through things because I'm aware that there's something out there that could be and possibly is. And I just have to be cognizant of that and just kind of, sneak my way in a sense, just blend in and make myself my way around like neighborhoods.
You're talking about like this is a vision you had while you were dreaming?
Yeah, well, but and again,
this is all part of your dream, or you're just kind of leading up to that?
But no, you're correct. So this is, and that's the thing though. But because the scenes would change, it would be like different neighborhoods. It would be like farmland. It would be places where, whether remote or overpopulated, there was somehow or another. It didn't matter. There's always people. So whether it was a small amount, it was always land that was. It had, other houses or sometimes roads or just pathways or woods but it was always somewhat populated and there was other people involved because typically again, it's not always, I'm not always aware that there's like physically aware where I can see or designate, yes, that is a danger and it's coming for me. There definitely is a sense in my mind where it's like, I know I need to be aware of something of that nature. And typically as I'm slinking or moving or sneaking around or trying to keep myself safe as I'm doing stuff, others tend to find me and just kind of like, hey, bro. And it's, now all of a sudden there's, 6 of us, 12 of us, 15 of us, 30 of us. But we're all doing the same thing, and we're all trying to be safe and smart and working together to do it, and again, very very lucid. As I got older, though, so like into my 30s and now into my 40s, the dreams where I can feel or sense that there's definitely something of a dangerous nature. I can tell it's something of a very large structure that is alien, not of this planet, just something that is unaware of. It could be freaking some other country with like some crazy War of the World type freaking, fighter jet with tentacles that just has laser beams and shit. I don't know. So it doesn't mean that it's necessarily alien not of this earth. It's something that I'm not aware of what it is, even though there's definitely a level of comfort or awareness that I know what this is and how to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like I'm in another reality of my own existence, as if when I'm asleep, I'm actually awake in the real world. Well, but think about that. So that when I'm sleeping in the real world, I'm here in this world. Just like you, like in Inception. Right,
isn't it weird? And then either it's somebody who has insomnia, like you're just afraid to go back to reality.
Because you don't know which one's which, though.
Because reality is actually when you fall asleep, right?
Well, and that's the thing
it's like you're avoiding reality.
Well, so there's
by not sleeping.
Well, but I've always just been very much an energetic type person, so I've never slept much just because I don't need to. You know, I have plenty of energy running off of like 4 hours of sleep, you know.
I do better with more these days, though. I've noticed that.
But well, so
running around.
The other components of dreams currently in like say the past 10 years or so, when I'm not being chased, when it's just like a static component where, you know, everything's like hunky-dory and it's just whatever, I definitely have abilities where I can manipulate the things around me. And it's almost like video game style where you can run through a training program. And if you die, it's just like bloop, reloading, bing, start again. And you just start all over again at level 1. And you got to run through this maze and figure stuff out. It's almost like a way to force you to learn your abilities kind of a thing.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and I mean, and I've had definitely a few of those where as I've had more and more, I get to places within the dream where the people I'm interacting with are like looking at me and telling me, it's just like, why wouldn't you have just done this? And it's like, what, this? And, you know, I'm just like, all of a sudden they're like, what the hell? And it's like above and beyond what they would have even expected. And we're not even in the training program. It's now in like actual reality. So I've definitely had.
I like you want to wake up from those dreams and you're just like, damn.
Dude, honestly, sometimes because it's like, fuck, if only. If
I go back to sleep.
Well, it's not even that I want to go back to sleep. It's I want to have that kind of ability here in this world where just like Neo in the Matrix, I have constraints. There are rules, there's physics, like there's, you know, things that bind you, constrain you, but they're bendable. They're somewhat malleable. You can modify them a little bit. You can work with them. And I think very much my takeaway from that is that's what I want to be able to do.
You think if you woke up one morning and you actually had those powers still? And not just in your dream state, like
I've had daydreams about that kind of stuff.
You think you do the right thing with them, or like would you just try to exploit it for money?
Well, dude, no. So like, all right, as a kid, like early teenage years, I definitely had imagination enough where I daydreamed where if I could just make a Lego creation or take a Hot Wheels or anything that's basically an inanimate object, and all of a sudden it's just like, you know, like Cinderella style, take a pumpkin and now it's a freaking stagecoach.
Right.
And yeah, having that one just to do stuff. Like you were saying, not to exploit for money, not for like power, not for just to be creative and just make shit. Be like, look what I can do. Like, I'm going to drive a skate today.
To make shit not to sell, but make it to improve your life.
Just to make me happy because I'm creating. Hell yeah, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
What's your hustle though?
Dude, I got like 9 jobs, man. I'm like a Jamaican over here.
Yeah,
you
man.
shitting me? Right? How many jobs you got, man? Like 9. Oh, he's pretty good with us. It's like, yeah, right, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Because I'm a musician on the weekends, but I got 3 jobs.
Oh, dude, man, they're like fishermen, cab drivers, car washers. They got a cousin with like a laundromat. Like, dude, yeah, they got like 9 jobs, man.
Hey, you do what you got to do.
Dude, hey, mad respect. I mean, you ain't ever
No
gonna
mercy.
Yeah, you're never gonna hear me say anything about somebody who's gonna hardy work ethic. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, dude, yeah. So these dreams have pretty much from I want to say like 7, 8. 9 I want to say I was around 8 when I had my first lucid capable. I'm aware that I'm in a dream and able to modify and typically most of the dreams that I do remember, I am aware and I am capable of some form of ability to work within that construct, giving me, I guess, ease of use better than this world in a sense. And again, it's, you know, like being in the Matrix and just bending the rules a little bit.
How much control did you have over your construct?
See, and
like, what did you bring in at that age?
What do you mean? Like, what would my scenes like manifest as? Like the views that I would have, like the areas I'm in, or
Yeah.
I would say that typically I was more focused on what I was doing than where I was at of control, meaning that I never truly, I mean, there was a few dreams where I definitely modified my environment, but typically I was more concerned with, it almost seemed like I always had an objective, like I was on a mission of some sort. You know what I mean? Like I definitely feel coming from my teenage years into now is when I have these kind of dreams, there's definitely intention. There's like obligation. It's, that's why I was like, sometimes it seems like it's a training mode, and other times it seems like, and because I mean, dude, there's been quite a few where I told you, like I was saying, I was starting to have physical engagement with this alien entity, which, I have no idea, meaning that it's alien. So it doesn't, not of this planet is not, it's just unaware. I'm unknown of what this actual existence is.
It's just unidentified. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, it could be freaking, somebody from like Yugoslavia or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but I would physically engage, and there was definitely warfare where I'm handling weapons, and again, I have people that are trying to stay with me, and like we're working together, and so I mean, there's been many where we're basically on the run or just trying to make it to another spot, almost like hey, we got to get to safe haven or our backup spot, and whether we're going through rural countryside, suburbs, cities, neighborhoods, you know what I mean?
Right, word.
But yeah, it definitely, it just, it's kind of crazy. And I think the thing that really gets me the most about all of it is like how calm I feel while I'm in this dream state. Where like everything around me, even if it's like a battle scene, like I'm literally fighting, like, laser beam style bullets of sorts, like a plasma shell or something, you know what I mean? And, I'm fighting a battle. I'm literally putting my life on the line, and there's people all around me doing the same thing, and they're like Bill Paxton and Aliens, where it's like, game over, man, we're all going to die. Like they're basically losing their cool. And I'm just like sitting there, like not saying stuff. I'm just doing my thing, leading by example in a sense, just taking charge of the room kind of stuff. And yeah, that's what I say. Like, I very much I would love to be able to have that relative ability in this realm where it seems as if I'm bending the rules almost. That's kind of, to me, that's like transcendence and being 100% whole, literally having like mind, body, spirit, and everything together. You're truly cleansed and healed and a part of the flow, all that kind of good shit. I'm definitely getting there, man.
Yeah, I don't think there's any one session or one magic pill you can take, though. Sometimes it's just making a lifestyle change.
Well, see, and that I think it's the overall journey. That's why I always say it doesn't matter what you're focused on, just stay focused on it. If you think that's the thing, then you got to go do that thing. Stay focused on the mountaintop, no matter how many mountains you have to climb up to walk back down and say that's not the right path. When you stay focused on that thing, it builds itself, because whatever, if it's one piece, 3 pieces, 20 things, 100 different actions.
In the back of your mind, you're always focused on it.
Yeah. So whether it takes you, 5 minutes, 5 days, or 5 years, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the outcome you're looking for. So, yeah.
There's no coffee left.
There's no coffee left. Yeah,
what's left in there is not coffee. I don't know what that is.
I mean,
it's like sludge.
Why did you pour it that way? That's disgusting. Oh yeah, no, it's a French press, bro. It's good.
The leavings.
I don't know. I never seem to get those in mine, but I also mix mine with a little sugar and milk. You take yours black.
Straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know how you like your coffee, just like you like your man.
Dude, what?
Airplane? I like my coffee like I like my men.
Like coffee.
Black. No, she just did it. She's like 9 or some shit, or 12 or whatever. And she's just saying to the other freaking kid that's in a suit, she likes black men. You're just like, did the 12-year-old just say, what the hell? Yeah, dude. You can't make movies like Airplane anymore.
No, you can't.
It's kind of sad. Fucking love Airplane. A bomb. And don't call me Shirley.
I'll take the second one from the left.
Excuse me, stewardess. I speak jive. Dude, there's so many good scenes. Because, I mean, what the hell?
I have a drinking problem. Splash.
I know that's when my drinking problem started. He's like, throws the water at his face. Like, it's not that he's drinking alcohol. It's that he literally can't consume a liquid. Or when they're having like the disco dance off, like Saturday Night Fever on the dance floor, and he like throws her in the audience. Woo! Oh. Or when the airplane literally goes through the terminal and they chuck the baby into the air. Like, dude, you can't do that, man. Oh. And then they just made Airplane 2 where it was the same thing. They were just in space now. Pretty much, it's like Super Troopers 1 and then Super Troopers 2. It's the same shit, just, different side of the line. There you go.
You can see how much we can move this before it gets completely unreal.
You see, in the first one, we were fighting the Canadians. In the second one, we're fighting the Canadians in Canada.
In Canada?
Canada, eh? But
it was just Canada.
Ugh, so lame.
You're lame.
I don't even know what that means.
You're lame. What?
I don't know. You were looking at me weird. You got like some Stevie Wonder shit going on over there, bro.
I do.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's what happens when you start with those 9%ers in the green room, man.
That's what happens.
I'm saying,
And now I have to drink coffee and water.
Coffee, there's no water and you already drank the coffee.
No, but there will be.
But there will be. Well, I mean, I don't know.
There will be. There'll be something.
There'll be something. How do you know? Maybe I don't like you anymore.
Ah,
I already made you coffee. I'm not going to make you anymore.
fine.
I've already pulled over. I can't pull over any further.
This will be the last episode ever if you don't like me anymore.
Is it?
No point in continuing this at all.
Easy
We should
there,
just
Hedberg.
wrap it up right now.
Wrap it up, B. Hey, wrap it up.
I haven't slept for 10 days.
Because that'd be too long.
Because that would be too long.
See, this is what I'm saying, dude. Originally, like, we could have been doing
Good
sketch
Mitch.
comedy, man. I know, right? He does a solid Mitch, doesn't he? But yeah, dude, we could be doing our own sketch comedy. We could be out on the road touring. It'd be dope. Yeah, I know you can't do that right now, but still, it'd be dope.
Somebody needs to pick us up first.
But why we need a ride? Can you pick me up? Yeah, I'll be on the corner.
We need some kind of benefactor,
No, you need
like a sponsor.
Don't lump this we shit in their way, man. You need. You're the one that keeps talking about money. I never talk about money,
I know.
even though I'm always talking about money. But it's more about how to use it and work with it.
I'm
not
looking
like-
for a scholarship.
I actually had this scene from Pineapple Express in my head the other day where they come in to go see Red, the drug dealer, which is Danny McBride. And he's got that freaking yoga stretch ball or whatever. And he's like bouncing. He's like, I'm trying to up here. He's like, I'm up here trying to get a motherfucking scholarship. It's the first time I saw the movie, I was just like, Breakfast Club. Love the reference, bro. That was dope. Plus the way he played it out was just freaking cool. I love me some Danny McBride. That's a funny motherfucker.
That's a great line too from Breakfast Club.
Dude, it is. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even just like a well-known or iconic scene, but I mean, very, very few people would ever kind of, pay a true homage to it where they pay it its due and give it, and he did it very funny, but at the same time out of like a respectful manner. It's like,
for
dude,
real. I mean,
Well, 'cause-
if I was a kid, I would have killed to be able to say something like, you know what I mean? Like half of the stuff he said.
oh, in Breakfast Club?
Yeah, just to get away with it.
But he didn't get away with it, man. He had to do Saturday
but it
detention for
was
2 months.
just to see what he, to push the edge of the envelope. I mean, why not?
Because he was looking for attention, and it's unhealthy.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. It
was not terrible. It was great acting. It's just a horrible idea
his
psychologically.
character. Yeah, it was a means of escaping his parents.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no, I get that.
No, I'm all with that. That concept though. That's another one of those kind of shows where, like, you could almost see the breakdown of the the human psyche.
Well, but that's what I always said. That was the thing that I love the most about John Hughes is
Like the Goonies too.
Well, so here's the deal. If you look at any of, typically more times than not, when you have any kind of a script, TV, movie, doesn't matter. As soon as you have, I would say 3 to 5 main characters or like truly occurring characters, you're going to see a representation of several different personality types. And typically these are ones that either clash or mesh, but somehow or another, they're still a part of, they're either, identical to in a degree different, but, in that same realm, or, opposite enough that it's going to cause something. It's like real world shit where they're picking the right people. They're like, it's not scripted. However, pretty sure we're going to get something here. And it was just done in a fashion where they knew they were going to get some form of a, dramatic outcome as these personality types. But so, yeah, dude, but that's the John Hughes, along with Kevin Smith, Guy Ritchie. I mean, there's so many amazing directors that are capable of not only picking the appropriate people to play those characters, but to set the tone and, the basic construct that really allows for that idea, persona, personality type to truly express. And it's enjoyable to see it on that kind of a level. Cause I love seeing the way things work, even us as humans. I'm very inquisitive. I mean, that's why I have, my degree in psychology is, specifically behavioral developmental, is because I love knowing how shit works, and to see it as a structure and then come to a physical component or, entity, something that is animated. I greatly enjoy that kind of, that respect. That's why I was like, dude, that's why I was, the whole Pineapple Express thing, like, that's why I enjoyed him saying it that way and doing that scene, because it's something that I could see you or I doing, where like you come over to the house and, whoever's behind the door has the ball. It's like, what you doing? You're just like, I'm on people trying to get about the scholarship. And you're just like bouncing the ball. Like I could see us doing that, because we're not doing that to be disrespectful. We're doing that because we see it as iconic. We see it as, this thing that, like you were saying, I wish I could have done that as a kid. So it's very much,
Oh, it's some of those scenes in, in some of our favorite movies. I mean, and Goonies was one of them too, where.
But love me some Goonies, dude.
Right?
That's just dope, man.
Some of those scenes, like you could totally imagine yourself in,
Dude, especially like where Data's falling. It's like, yeah, Data, fine, by the way. It's like, that's something you and I would do. Just be like, hey, man, there's a door over here. Be like, oh, yeah, great. I'm on the floor crying because I fell through it. And you're over here telling me, great, yeah, I'm okay, thank you. Yeah.
That's okay. That's going to be all right.
Yeah. Well, again, that's why I enjoy I enjoy documentaries, but when it's a physical reproduction, I really appreciate and enjoy the directors that can encompass that tone, that personality, get the right people, make the right scenario. I mean, just paint the picture well, because then you get what seems like a true knowledge, true representation, as if it was actually occurring in real world style. You're just there with the cameras. Got great freaking angles on it. Like, oh, I'm glad we had a camera over there. Did you see that? That was, but
terrible acting. No,
but see,
definitely getting people with the right kind of energy together and people that understand the motivation of the characters is 9/10 of making a good production. Because if you can make your actors understand their character fully, you don't have to write every little nuance, because you just say, hey, this is the general theme and the direction of the conversation, but if you feel need to add or subtract here or there, let's try it out. I think that makes a much more interesting.
Yeah, no, I with a lot of the directors I enjoy, because again, I'm just like uber nerd and I love watching the behind the scenes stuff, and
right.
a lot of the conversations and interviews, I feel most of the actors, when they talk about the directors in that capacity, like, like I said, Kevin Smith and Guy Ritchie and, John Hughes, all that kind of stuff, they very much have their vision and they are very specific about it. But just like you were saying, they're also open-minded enough where it's like, hey, you guys are the ones that are doing this. Like, you're the one that are supposed to be feeling this flow, be a part of it. Show me what you got. And, more times than not, you wind up getting either a mix of it or, hey, the ad lib was way better. And, and actors have a better time with it. You do get a more heartfelt give and receive kind of flow between the characters. And it does feel natural. Mm-hmm. Almost like it's a documentary turned into a movie, Yeah, seriously.
I got you. Yeah, well, now it's drink time. Is that delicious?
Yeah, actually, dude, I'm telling you, man, the freaking coffee up the street, it is dope. I love a whole bean. Fresh grind is always nice. Little French press. And I did a little African and Sumatra blend there for us. A little mixy mix.
Nice.
It was nice.
It's totally gone now, but it's nice.
I mean, dude, that's why it was nice, because you drank the crap out of it.
It's gone because it was nice.
Yeah, man. If it's still if it's lingering, it's not a good thing. Lingerers.
Crazy.
You're crazy.
You're crazy, man.
I like you, but you're crazy. Wait. What dart? In your neck. There's a dart in your neck. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy. He's walking through
the first get shot. He's like, "That's awesome!
That's awesome!" He's like, "Oh my god, am I dead?
I've never seen that. I don't know what to do.
You should take it out. Take what out? The door. There's a door in your neck." Wait. You're great. Dude, when he's like going across the lawn before he falls into the pool, he's like a bear coming down in the wild. And then just splashes in. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, that was so great.
Oh, there was so much good shit in there. This was a good conversation, man. 10. Yeah, you in Spanish. Put your hat back on. You're gonna freak the kids.
That's right.
Your suit's crazy hot, B. But yeah, dude, no, this was a really dope conversation. I've said it, a few times. It's over? Well, yeah, I mean it is.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah.
You said it. You were saying it before. What?
Dude, I really I've been wanting to touch more on your dream when you were a kid, and we started talking tonight. So we'll have to bring that back up, because that was some solid conversations.
Well, the one that wasn't even a dream, or
we don't have time for that now.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. But
anyways,
as usual.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you wanna reach out, hit all three of us at the same time. You, me, Miss JD. It's ITY directionsinmusic.org. And then you got Mr. Gemini, GEMINI
at directionsinmusic.org.
Yeah, and then Philly D, PHI, LLYD, directionsinmusic.org.
Thank you very much.
This is Vince Vega. But yeah, no, this is I'm telling you, Philly D,
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack a fact checker, Miss JD.
Yeah, and as always, fam, we love you, we appreciate you, and we want you to be good to yourself and be good to everyone else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.